dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, you gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria, Munson here with a Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Veronica joining us in just a moment from the Algarve. We're going to take a little quiet walk in the Sintra forest in just a moment. And at 9:30, Carl Hyde will be joining us, the British gentleman, the other side of the water. He services all of Lisbon, of course, and lives on the south of the water. As does Bobby O'Reilly, also joining us for an extended, who doesn't like an extended show first thing in the morning? Bobby will be joining us. I want to talk to him about some particular aspects of Herdade Do Meio that we've not really discussed very much before. So we're chatting to him at around 10, probably a little bit of a crossover with Veronica and Carl and Bobby, as they all have a fondness for the real estate industry and property and what's exciting going on in the real estate market here in Portugal. So let's take that little walk in the forest. Let's also find out how you are this morning, and let's find a ticker tape from somewhere soon as well, because it's looking pretty quiet on that screen this morning. What, says the Global Nobles? Who's that kid behind the microphone? Wait, it's Carl. Yes, I did shave. I did. Well, actually, it was the Silver Coast wind that blew all the bristles back in. I'll come back and say good morning to you all in just a moment. Let's have a little breathe out. If you're finding these crazy times a little stressful and challenging, let's just go for a little walk in the forest together, shall we, right now, courtesy of James. Right, here we go. Bit of heavy breathing there, I detected as well, but very still apart from that. I guess the quieter the forest, the more, the louder you scream. No, the quieter the forest, the louder the breathing, perhaps, right there. Let's give her a nice big round of applause and bring her onto the screen. Our American in Portugal, Veronica, how you doing?
Hello. Good morning, Portugal.
How are you, Veronica? Tudo bem? Como estás? You're looking remarkably fresh. And I say that because of the message I received a little while ago. May I share that with everybody?
Yes.
Coughing fit. Were you really up till 5 this morning?
Yes, because I was editing a video. We went out to a great fun event. This is where it was behind me, the Prime Energize, which is on the ocean in Monte Carlo. It was their 5-year anniversary party. So we went and had a great dinner and some champagne, dancing on the roof. This is the rooftop portion. And then there's the restaurant portion. And then it's nice that it's on a deck so you don't damage the dunes, getting out to the ocean and the chameleons, foxes, all the cool things out there. So it's
There are what out there?
special. Foxes and chameleons.
Really? What, living in harmony, or they sound a little bit antagonistic to each other potentially?
You know, I don't know if the fox eats a chameleon. Is anyone watching yet that can answer us? I know everybody watches after the fact. And okay, this is another segue. I do this all the time. This is must be.
We got off on a tangent already.
Already, because I want to say Wednesday is the new Friday. Everybody was partying on the roof last night.
Yes.
And my girlfriends and I are like, it feels like a Friday, doesn't it? And then we said, we're retired. There's no Friday.
Yeah, it so often happens here, doesn't it? Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And can we just name check the establishment again? Did you call it the Prime? The
Prime Energize.
Energize. What is it? Is it a gym then? Or is it a hotel?
Doesn't it kind of sound like you would get some energized? I don't know why they use the term Energize, there's a hotel in town with the same name, but it's not on the ocean. It's like 3 blocks back, or maybe 2 blocks, 2.5, 3. And so then in order for their clients to have a place to hang out on the beach, because it's a beach community, see over here, they've got the chairs, and then underneath would be the restaurant and the bar, and then they'll bring, drinks to the chairs and food to the chairs. So
really, so it's a bit of a fancy concept then, by the sound of it.
Fancy concept, but it's not expensive comparatively, right? I think that's one of the things we love about. Oh, look how fast you are! Oh, you're just so awesome.
I'm good at this.
A lot of people love staying there. It's even my friends when they chose to come stay around town. Monte Gordo is the town that has tons of hotels right next to ours, a few miles away. So this is the place it's easier for tourists to stay. And it's nice because then we get all the fun tourist stuff and activities. And in the off season, we get double everything just for all us locals. So.
Yeah. And look at this. Look at the food with Shakal. His name, you're dealing with somebody enigmatic when they just have one name, right?
Yeah, when they have one name.
Yes, he has one name. Look at his. Loving the Eastern vibes there, the Asian vibes in that food. Maybe with is that a bit of chorizo in there or a mushroom? But then, no, I think it's probably a mushroom, isn't it? I thought there's a bit of a Portuguese twist going on there. Just dwelling on the food. That looks like duck, possibly. Sorry, T-duck. And that's the dessert. That's a very fancy looking chocolate filled dessert.
Yeah,
I think
I had a nice pear last night. One of those, how they cook them and they're all soft and milky, and they put alcohol or bourbon or something on them, and then a vanilla sauce and the pear.
A flaming pear. Who doesn't like? Right.
It wasn't flaming because it was prefix, and we were all sat at once. It was a huge party, so it was all. I see. On the roof. Then we were all downstairs. Then we were back on the roof. So they probably couldn't bring out, I don't know.
Did you see Chef Shakal? And was he dressed like this? Because that's a good look in the kitchen.
Nobody came out and introduced him. I think that'll be a good suggestion. I met the owner and I didn't meet the owner. He was pointed out to me, but his wife last night, and she was super friendly. And she says, "I know you. You're the American in Portugal." I'm like, "Oh, so sweet."
Isn't that great?
I'm like, okay, I can give her a shout out. She said, but actually, when they first opened, we're so excited as all these places were opening along the boardwalk. See, but they're standing on that boardwalk there. And they were all opening along the whole front of Monte Gordo, and they've got like 15, 20 little. Oh, I love those fishies. 15, 20 little restaurants right there out front. And of course, the ones right there in town as well. But it's so nice that we had more places on the beach, right? So we were all so excited. And so I just went and took a couple pictures and posted them. And I can't remember if it was Instagram or Facebook or, and I don't do Instagram that much. So probably more Facebook.
I'm liking the spa. Look.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a good spot.
The spa looks good. Hot stone massage. That's not my only little bit of feedback about hot stone massage. It's not so good when you've got hairy legs. But
did it tear at your legs? Did you have that done and it tear?
It did, yeah. And look, a yogurt dressing for the face, I think, or something. Using natural ingredients from the Algarve and some little poultices, I think, there as well. Fantastic. Thank you for bringing Prime Energize to our attention. Nice place to stay in Monte Gordo there.
I didn't intend to mark it for, but we just had so much fun there last night. And they had a band at the top, and I can send some clips if you ever want to post them. Well, it was just a good time.
You tell me about anything in Portugal, and I want to learn more. So that's great. And you were in at 5 o'clock, and then
no. We were in at we left by about 12:31 when the party's still raging, right? That's when it's, everybody's still there. Portugal is good at staying up late. Let's give them 10 points for staying up late.
Colombia, basically.
I was editing videos until 5 a.m. So when people keep saying, "Where is this? Where's that?" I'm like, I don't think they understand the time it takes to edit. So the one that I sent you today, which hopefully you play because I stayed up late editing it, because I couldn't edit it. Yeah, because I couldn't edit it last time because of my little head.
Oh, that's right. We had raw footage, didn't we, last time?
Yeah.
We did. Okay. Well, we'll run that a little bit later on. Let's say, I'll bring that closer to the screen.
Hello, friends,
Oh,
and
it's
welcome
looking
to
good already. Right. Okay. I'll bring that back in just a little
Oh,
while.
it's such a bad something about the
to do
filter. I
fun-
put on a filter with wrinkles. Okay, sorry.
Is that better? All right. I'll move. Okay, let's say a few hellos before we watch a little bit of this.
Yes.
And we can run it in the background and you could talk over it, which would be quite nice. We could have our conversation.
Well,
whilst
it's got the data and him talking and stuff later too. So
Oh,
you might
cool.
want
All
to
right.
just let it run when you need a talkie break and need to check the chat or something.
Yeah,
So.
drink my tea. Bom dia,
Drink your
campus.
tree, yeah. You need
Feliz quinta a todos. Como vão as coisas? How are you doing there, James? Thank you very much. And thank you for that clip of the very still and quiet forest in Sintra. I'm sure you had a very good time there. Bom dia, Alegria Campus from T-Duck as well. Good morning to you. Thank you for the duck pictures this morning. Apparently, there's always a duck watching you somewhere. Everyone has a guardian duck. Didn't know that. Discovered this morning. Makes sense. Marlin from Global Nobles, how you doing, both of you? And the three of you, of course, Starbuck as well. Hola, bon dia from Lord Travanca, who last time he was on the screen thought I had ignored him. Not at all, Lord Travanca. Would never do that. Sarah Yerman, how are you? It's been a while. How's it going? Yerman household, the great cyclist of Portugal. Bon dia from Pam, who's got an announcement for us as well. Bon dia, Portugal from João Ernesto. Pam is letting us know that it's a public holiday today. Of course, it is. It is the day of the Assumption today. So you can assume that most public offices will be closed today. Don't try and do anything official today. Enjoy the day. Have a day off. The big news from Algarve today is that we're getting Flixbus. Oh, I see the franchise is using that rather nice new coach station that's just been refurbished, very central too in Alcobaça. Bon dia, Veronica from James. JP is here. My Mondays are better than most people's Fridays. Yes, talking of getting that Friday feeling that many of us can have many days of the week here. Vespa de feriado. That's why it felt like a Friday. So there you go, Pam. It was a Friday. It was a holiday eve, wasn't it, yesterday as well? So the holiday feeling was in the air. Bon dia, Gumpers from Michael Barton. Good morning to you. And Nubianet. Hello, Nubianet. I haven't fully decoded the message you sent to me. I'm just hoping that I haven't upset you. It was that tricky the end of the world special I did last week, and clearly I was wrong with my predictions. A question related to the D2 visa. We'll come back to that. Good morning to you, Ilyas Majdi. I'm sure we can answer that one way or another from Qatar this morning. How about that? T-Duck, it feels your pain, Veronica. It took me 2 hours to edit a 1-minute video. That's why I like live.
Yes, they're so smart to do live. But you're good at multitasking and reining in the horses.
Raining in the horses. Bon dia all from Eliane Lopes as well, the real estate. How are you doing, Eliane? Nice to see you here as well this morning. Great. Okay, so let's take it nice and easy because you're up late and you're working on this marvelous work of art that we see in front of us. Shall I roll VT then? Shall we have a little look at it and we can have a little chat while it's running?
Yes, and we're calling this a preview because it was the clips together, and then I was trying to edit out some of the strange stuff and trying to put in some of the good stuff, but it needs a lot more. So no, this is a preview, and you're lucky to get it live here. Good morning, Portugal.
So who is this gentleman here then?
Well, if you put on the volume, it's explaining. This is Richard Nisbet.
All right, okay.
Magazine, and you've got quite a few, don't you? You've had a few in the past. Yeah.
2 parts to it, really. There's that part, which is what we want to be like the care home side of things, and this.
He's British, is he not? Is he British?
Yes, but he's from India and he's lived all over the world. So he's one that he owns a magazine called the East Algarve magazine, and this article is actually
great.
Hello, Catherine. The information about this place is in his magazine, so you can catch it online if you Google it, as well as his story on how he's moved abroad and he's had some tough times, and he shares those as well. And with his family, but had very a very great success with this. They're just at the very end, and with some members passing away in his family, he
Yikes.
wants to go ahead and get investors and finish it. So.
All right, let's see a little bit more.
Okay.
Which is a restaurant and event hall. So let's just go inside.
Yeah, just show me around as if you're just showing anybody, you know.
Okay.
Just, and that's his wife. I think. I hope.
So this is like the day room.
The day room.
This senior care facility project is still under construction, but it's 90% complete, and they're still looking for a few more investors to finish it up.
So these are the 32 of these rooms. Downstairs all will have space outside, so they'll have a small garden outside the patio doors.
Nice. So you've been working on this a year? 2 years?
We started the build in 2013.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But then there were 4 of us at that stage. My partner, my ex-wife, my dad and my stepmom. And in the last 4 years, they all passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're trying to
4
get
family members passed away.
Yikes.
So all the rooms are exactly the same.
Well, that makes it easy.
The rooms are all
They're really nice. Nice. Beautiful courtyard.
So, and the gardens go through the corner there with the palm trees. There's a well there down to the corner.
With their own well, the hills. It's by Southwest to the Airport Hotel.
How much do you figure you need to invest more? Like, what would be the total investment someone would need to?
What we're looking for is to refinance, so that's one thing.
So everything's wheelchair friendly or easy accessible.
Okay, 5,850,000.
So about 2.5 million.
Okay.
But that will mean we'd own it and it'll be finished.
Oh, that's cool.
Up and running.
The property includes 32 double rooms and 6 cottages. There's a medical center and spa on site, along with a restaurant and swimming pools, and it is currently 90% complete. The total property value is estimated at $6.5 million. The property spans 50,000 square meters of land, and they're currently looking for investors to help complete the project. The investment opportunity stands at $2.8 million, which qualifies for Portugal's Golden Visa program.
Another cool little back area.
Wow.
The property spans 50,000 square
These are
meters.
the little villas.
It's just huge. The place is
Do you have a
huge.
little backyard as well? Or? Yeah, this is nice.
I'm just going to drop the volume for a minute and ask you a few questions about it. So, at this stage, they're looking for an investor in the whole thing. This is going to be basically a beautiful Algarve-based old folks home, or as you would call it in the United States, an elders seniors facility, right? So
Yeah,
where you can live communal
these ones here are the
cottages.
Sorry?
Are these the cottages that you mentioned?
Yes, those are like the cottages, or
Yeah.
had another name for them, but I can't remember it, and swimming pools. And so I just sent you the data on all of it. What they're looking for is one investors or multiple investors. So, it says the investment opportunity stands at 2.8 million. So, and then that qualifies for Portugal's Golden Visa. So you can still, you can still do the investment for buildings in certain areas that are underbuilt. This is one of those regions that are underbuilt. So you can still qualify for the Golden Visa with this one. So you can invest in this one. And then you can also have a place here too. And then, so you can invest in it, and then your investment dollars are going towards your own place, right?
Well, Bobby, straight to the heart of the matter. It's like Dragon's Den suddenly. What's the
Yes.
return? Bobby O'Reilly sat in a chair looking at the presentation. What's the return, he says?
So he says the annual income is projected at 2.4 million with estimated running costs of 1.185 million. This results in a potential pre-tax profit of 1.235 million per year. So you think if it's something you're enjoying and you're getting money back and you're living in it, I'm thinking that's a win-win. Like for me personally, I mean, I would always say, check out, oh, this is where they're going to have the surgery center. They're going to have doctors coming in every day, different languages. One of the things that's an issue is there's no place in Portugal for people who speak English for when you need a care home, right?
Yes.
You can always have somebody come into your home. There's one, but it's completely full. And then I send you the note that came from the article from the gal, Kelly Harper, who's the CEO of Algarve Care Services. And she says she's got a huge list just herself. She's from one of people who are looking for these type of care homes, which we know. I mean, that's the future. Marriott's investing in them, all these other, companies.
Get that. Yeah.
Because care is needed. But to have one that's English-based and that will bring in doctors of other languages, and then in that care facility that he was showing in there, they're going to have that Turkish bath, and also it'll be open to the public. So they'll have a doctor come in, and of course it'll be for their people first. And then when the doctor's got extra appointments, he can take people there as well. So being out a little bit in the country, because it's just kind of northeast of Lule. So
lovely place to be. Great.
So yeah, if you look at, Salbrash de Arportel, that's the easiest way to find it, because it's right next there, because it's one of those little towns next to it, where Salbrash de Arportel is a bigger town. So it's just a really interesting thing. If I had the money, I'd be interested in doing it, because I like that they're going to be working with the community as well. I brought up this place is so huge. What about community gardens and doing things with the kids and the elderly? Because that's where we're kind of missing a hole, where our elderly are kind of being shoved to the corner, as are our children in daycare, because, everybody in the middle has to work. So they're being shoved into care, where if you can have a facility where they can work and play together, the seniors have so much to offer, a lifetime of experience, literally.
Free childcare as well.
And people who really care, grandparents who care. I mean, you don't want the Alzheimer ones who are going through their anger stages who might beat them or something.
Yes, that's got to be serious.
But there are so many, great places that I think it fits a niche market when you have a property that big. Because when you look in most cities, it's like the size of a house. You have the rooms, that's it. They might have a few community centers, but they're more like rooms. They're not these huge rooms, one room after the other after the other.
I like the style. Yes, the best, your own best exotic marigold hotel. It does have those vibes potentially, doesn't it, with the hot weather and the exotic Algarve climate. Really liking this idea. And more questions about the opportunity. That return is based on full occupancy, I assume. That was the problem with trying to attract a senior centre where we used to live in the US. It could never get full occupancy commitments. A bit like the hotel business, I suppose, as well. Then I'm sure if you want to talk more nuts and bolts,
I would say talk to him and talk to the senior care people and get.
Yeah, but
we eventually are going to do a show on that. I think we need to talk about.
Bring him on at some point. Yeah, bring him with you one, or we'll do a special on it, because I'm not so much. Yeah, it'd be great. We'd do it in the evening. We could do it as one of our evening shows. And I love the idea sociologically. And joking aside, we made some cheap jokes at the expense of old folks there, which is very tempting, of course. But on a more serious note, it's very important, isn't it, that we get this elder care right. And we've got a beautiful climate, a great building, good facilities, and this idea of it being more of a village, a functional, real village feel, rather than a prison camp for old people. Because that's what a lot of old folks' homes look like. They don't quite ghettoized, don't they? Obviously, you've got to be secure, but sometimes that barrier makes for a kind of prison, really, of just old people stuck behind doors and we're looking forward to their relatives visiting. And we could really change that, couldn't we, with this? facility
I'm
here.
texting him right now.
Right.
If
Well,
we
and I'm
can. I
thinking
could have said, come on. I don't know. My brain lately, let me tell you.
another time, not a problem. But you know, I think it needs community management as much as anything else, doesn't it? You know, obviously you need the hotel services well sorted out. You know, good people running the place. You need medical services, but it sounds like you need sort of facilitation as well, doesn't it? If in a community, how many people are going to be living there when it's done? It's going to be like
So they have 32 double rooms and 6 cottages. And one of the things that he was talking about even is leaving some open for hotels. So
right.
grandkids could come have their
Yes,
vacations
yes,
there
yes, yes.
with
Yeah,
their grandparents, right?
yeah.
So you've still got it. And then for the senior care facilities, you've got areas that are blocked off just for them. So when we were going through, they were building that outdoor kitchen. It looked like one of those huge barbecues that
Yes.
looked really nice. And so he said, like, this would be only for them. There's going to be areas that are cordoned off only for them, but there'll be some hotel areas where people can bring in their kids. And so, you can
Great
go
idea.
see grandma and grandpa, and it's fun because there's a pool with other kids. And you saw how huge the facility is. And I mean,
Yes.
you know how labor is inexpensive here. And same thing when we walked into one room and he says, I said, wow, this is almost done. He says, wow, you're one of the first person that says that. Everyone else says, look how much work there is. But I know how these people are, and I know how they came in and they're like, oh, we're gonna, rip out walls and do all this stuff and all this, great contractor type work in a project that I had. And they're like, it's $2,000. And I went, what? And this was somebody that the school used, was, bonded and everything, because the schools used them to do their bathrooms and tiles. And you're like, it's so inexpensive. I mean, every place is different, right? Lisbon's going to be a whole different animal than,
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's a lovely location, and as you say, yeah, it would be a pleasure to go and see grandma or granddad, wouldn't it? Have a holiday in the Algarve as well and hang out. Very nice. A good concept.
do
Frank's here. Good morning
events.
to Frank. What's the plan to manage and operate this facility once complete? So the family who are developing it, by the sound of it, will have some part to play in.
They'll stay there. Yeah, there's actually a housing place where they lived and their parents lived.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
well, but I would say, yeah, contact them. Like, or if there's questions, then maybe we need a show where we have him on. I just wanted to bring this up as this is such a cool idea. He's nearing the end. And once, he kind of gets the people in, that's it as far as the investment. So if you're interested, talk with him. And of course you talk with your accountants and, have them check out banks and financing, funding and insurance and blah, 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 all that
I
stuff.
would love to be the social manager of a place like that. Get people coming in doing talks, demonstrations,
Yeah.
restaurants coming in and doing previews,
Yes.
chefs, 80s disco, monthly 80s, well,
Yes.
70s disco, 80s disco.
Oh,
It's
well,
gotta be
maybe
done.
this is for you. And then your kids are so amazing and awesome. I love them to death. They could be there too. They'd have their own rooms and
It'd be great fun, really good fun. But thank you for sharing that with us, and all the best. It's
and
a
thank
very
you, Richard.
brave. It's a brave project, isn't it? A very brave project, and he's not been without his challenges on that, by the sound of it. So, all the best to them in their endeavour. The
Trooper and
Germans, look at
going.
this. The Germans are thinking about a bike ride from Paris to Stubal. It'll be great to hear about experiences with routes or resources along there. So, how far is that journey? I'm sure you would get a Portuguese send off in Paris. Of course, Paris is the second biggest Portuguese city in the world. So, and yes, and there'll be the Olympic spirit still hanging in the air there. So that sounds exciting. We've got Liz.
Actually, let's have them do it. You Google it and let us know.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
push the bicycle, you can push the little walking man, or you can push the driving or the train or the airplane.
Okay, Sarah, let us know how long that journey is. We've got a friend already. We've got a gumper in Paris. Liz might be able to help you at that end. And what a triumphant return as you cycle back in to Stubal. Right, thank you for sharing that. What else is going on, Veronica, in your part of the world? How's it going down there? Bit nice and busy for August?
Oh yeah, August is the fun month. It's the fun month. And our town's the fun month because our town doesn't have a ton of hotels, right? So we can't get exploded, but we get people who come to visit. So it's super fun. There's something every day. If you look, here's a really good tip. If you guys want to know what's going on, and there's activities like every day. I started a East Algarve activities Facebook just for everybody to post all the activities, because the communities a lot of times are doing them all by themselves, just by, like their own Instagram, and so you've got to dig and find it. And
Yes.
so, but then I got my head thing, so it got slow. But I'm going to recruit some people, and it's just a charity thing, so we can go to one place, and it's only activities and some of the fun ones that are harder to find. Like they've had a super fun activity on the hill next to my house here, and I've been here since 2017 every year, and this is the first year I went, and it was we connected with some other locals that go to a lot of these events, and they finally said, hey, have you gone to the glow party on the hill in Castro Marim? And I'm like, no, what's that? And it's like hidden, and like you can't even find the ad. It's like in some like local magazine in Castro Marim, and we went up to the top of the hill, and it's gorgeous. And you have a view of the river and our town, the castle, Castle Marin. You're at the top. Here's the fort. It's just so gorgeous. And the gorgeous church, and then the little old church. And we walk up there, and it is empty because, of course, we came on time at 8, and nobody goes anywhere at 8. And we go in there, and there's a guy playing one of those 10-string guitars. And it was just heaven. It was like our own little party, and everyone we knew was up, on that hill. It was like our own little party. Then by 11:30, and we're getting tired, people start showing up with their kids, right? And then we're like, okay, see ya. But it's like we had our own private party on the hill, and it's, sunset like this, and it's gorgeous. They have after the 10-string guy, they had a DJ with all these lights that are, blasting through the
smoke.
Yeah. They just up to the sky. Fortunately, there was a few little clouds in Algarve, and so they made the designs, and then we look over towards our town because Castro Marim's on the hill. We look to our town just 4 miles away. I don't know, 5 kilometers. Shoot, 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers. And there's fireworks going on because this was just last month. So we had a youth festival here, and we had a huge a sports festival, and it's called the Algarve Sevens now, which has everything. It has rugby and hockey, field hockey, and netball, which I hadn't seen before. And I'm like, oh, now we need pickleball. So there's so much going on. And then we had our pickleball competition here.
How did that go?
It went great. They did such a great job. I went in and I was taking it easy because, that's, again, my little head thing. I had an issue. I was taking it easy. I went in. It went perfect. Everything was great. Sometimes you get 1 or 2 people that want everything to be perfect, and you go, it's the first year, It's and this is Portugal.
I know the sort of person you're talking about. Yeah, come on, relax. They're in their first year of retirement, aren't they? They still think they're in the corporate world.
But they brought
a drink.
They brought
a drink and shut up.
Pickleball to Portugal. We now have a national team. That was the national competition to pick the national team that's going to go in October to Southampton in
Southampton. It's where Craig David comes from, in Southampton in UK. And he was the bow selector, I think, for the British archery team at the Olympics this year. 24 years since that album came out. Let's give Carl a nice round of applause and have him join this conversation. Rewind with across a bow selector.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent.
A little bit out of breath. I've had a hectic morning, so rushing around.
Good. Take it easy for the next 20 or so minutes.
Hello.
Yeah, we'll take a big breath.
Well, I've had family here for pretty much 4 weeks solid.
Exhausting, isn't it? Exhausting.
I'm still recovering. Yesterday was hell, just cleaning up and getting it straight. And then I've got my wife's family are coming today, so it's I love it, but it never ends. And I think you can tell by my eyes, I'm exhausted. So.
Oh, bless you. Okay, we'll just have a little bit of a rest. We might just ask you the occasional question. Otherwise, just sit there and unwind and chill for a bit.
Pretty.
Yeah, basically, you're here to be the eye candy, so just take it easy.
Yeah, the Carl candy. Let's call that Thursday Carl Candy Day.
Well, we hope to appear at the Old Folks Home as Carl Candy. Me and him will do a Take That tribute because he's actually from Manchester. And we can go and sing for the old folks. And I think we've got a career there. Tumbleweed moment. Okay, the need for senior living is only going to grow, especially as the immigrant population continues to grow as well. Thank you, James. And Frank says, interesting project. Would like to hear more about it. So I will connect you with Veronica, if I may.
Yep, of course.
And we will we'll help you with that. Be delighted to do so, Frank. Smash that like button, says T-Duck. And the Global Nobles. Good timing, Carl. In a future show, you need to have a segment on games landlords play here in Portugal. Now, I suspect both of you can.
Good. That needs to be a whole show, actually.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
You need to be aware. You need to be aware. There's fraud. There's craziness. There's crazy people. And one of our people is just assaulted. So.
You've told us about this before, haven't you? The scams of, getting people to go to an Airbnb thinking they're renting it and they part with their money. So definitely there's some mileage in that show and an opportunity for us to help people in that way. Thank you very much, Global Nobles, for suggesting. Turning up at the party at 8. Wow, no one goes to a party before midnight. They think you're there from the night before when you turn up at 8, of course.
Yes.
Now, there's an opportunity in this. If you're perhaps an entrepreneurial Portuguese person or a foreigner with a business idea, if you do open up your stall at 7, you will clean up on all the tourists from the UK probably and some Americans who turn up thinking the party has begun at 7 o'clock. Yes. Start selling food, a few drinks. There's a restaurant in San Martino that does it. It's Portobello, and they know that English people are hungry at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they call it tea time, which is their dinner. It's a strange British habit, but they're hungry by 5 after a day on the beach and they want to eat. And Portobello doesn't open at 5, but it opens at 7 and probably is the only one to do so in the town. And it's packed by like 7:15 with hungry foreigners. And they figured it out. It's really clever, very clever. I think you've both got ideas to add to this. Go on, Carl.
Well, some years ago, when I was just visiting Portugal, staying in Quinta do Conde with family, right. My wife's cousin took us to a nightclub, like a warehouse sort of district. And it was getting late on. And I said, the place is going to be closing soon. It's nearly midnight. I said, don't worry. We got there at midnight. We were the only people there, and it didn't fill up until 3 a.m. Yeah. Yep. Come 3 a.m., I was goosed. That was it. I was ready to go home, and everyone was just getting warmed up. So completely different. Yeah. Yes. I wasn't doing that. No.
Well, eventually we'll have an afternoon disco at the old folks' home because we can't make people wait up. I mean, if it's going to be 3 a.m, you're going to catch them going to the toilet maybe for a quick pee break disco.
Yeah, 3 in the afternoon is more my style.
It's going to have to be 3 in the afternoon, isn't it? What do you think of that idea, Veronica?
It's brilliant. And those who get it and understand, you're right. They're cleaning up. We said that to 2 of our people who had kind of reached out and said, hey, we're can you maybe have some events here? Or they knew that we were a market that they wanted to cater to. V-Good was brand new. This young couple, so sweet, Portuguese Cuban, Anna and Boris. And so we did a couple events there, and they were having bands, and they were having them starting at 9 or 10, and now they're having some earlier, and they get it, and they're trying to cater to us. And Cafe Latte, João, he gets it. We are there all the time. He's brought in all the different gins that people like. That gap where you could never eat between like 3 and between like 3 and 6 or 3 and 7.
The hungry period.
Yes. The hungry period. All the restaurants are closed. I had people come to town because this is a real town, and they're like, your town is shut down. I said,
well, what were you going to say then?
I thought you were going to say something else then.
What are you going to say? Oh, dirty boys, Dirty Carl show. The Dirty Carl show.
Dirty Carl show. So many good ideas this morning.
No, but he gets it. He's changed his menu to where now there's a little Dutch corner. He's got in the great gins. He's got in things like great burgers, and his burgers he makes from scratch that are delicious. He's getting it. He's bringing up the price a little bit too. So
fair play. Now we don't want to change things. We don't
want to change things. But the Portuguese still hang out there. The coffees and all of those things, they still hang out there. So he still has lower price things. And also a big shout out and thank you to him. We needed one sponsor for the pickleball, and he sponsored it. Cool. And, and He said he'd be a full sponsor for the whole thing. And so we put both his logos on because now he's doing so well and he's got music at nights and stuff. And he's in the, within the square, not the square itself, but, just a couple blocks. So still within
people are feeling this. People are definitely feeling this.
So he's opening another place. One of the places that closed during COVID that stays closed that we were all sad about because nobody's been able to go in there because the ones that stay with the mentality of just only do really inexpensive coffees, they pay month to month. And a lot of times they write a check in advance to how they post date it. And then, so they're always paying a month behind. So their vendors don't cash their check until the next month. He's cleaning up, making money and opening more. So there's something to it. Now, like you said, we don't want to change things. We don't want to run people out of town, but
will complement the scene. Here are restaurants, there are restaurants and bars in Lisbon and Caldas da Rainha that we would love to try, but they don't open until bedtime. So there you go. That could be copied in Caldas. High season restaurant hours for Brits and Americans, earlier lunch and dinner, later for the Portuguese and Spaniards. So two sessions and more income there. It's like Carnival. It takes training. There you go. I've got the São Bernardo. I mean, even if we are going to go for these newfangled early opening hours, I think you should make the effort at least a couple of times a year to stay up, just like Veronica did till 5 this morning. I've got the São Bernardo tent just outside with DJs until 4 a.m. all next week. And then there's the after parties. The Portuguese really do know how to party, that's for sure. High season for tourists and year round for high immigrant population areas. And one thing they could also do, if you run a hotel and you put on, maybe serve dinner at 7, a little bit of a dance, 8:30 till 9, and then you show people slippers and they can change into their slippers and have a sleep in the lounge, just like they do after dinner, or just go to bed in one of the hotel rooms. It'd be perfect, wouldn't it? The full on in bed. If you advertised it, you could be in bed by 11 o'clock latest. I think people will put their names down for that. Having had a full meal and evening's entertainment before that, and then up for a massive buffet breakfast the next morning. I'm in. Right, Liz F. Hello there. Hello there. Re the ambitious Paris to Setúbal bicycle or motorcycle. It'll be bicycle, 2 wheels of the unpowered kind, apart from human power. Should be about 2,000 kilometers. But I'm thinking if you're doing that, you probably want to take the most scenic routes. So could be more. I'm afraid I only use non-eco-friendly flights to Portugal, so can only offer moral support for a great fun idea. Liz F is already putting herself forward for a little bit of help that side. Thank you, Liz, much appreciated. I was hoping you would rise to that occasion. And talking of sponsorship, maybe sponsors for the trip as well. The 1,100 kilometers, that's the estimate. Paris to Setúbal in US terms, it's not that far, roughly. Los Angeles to Gallup that's New Mexico, isn't it? NM, I believe. Very good. And our carnival tent, back to Alcabasa, does have an afternoon session for the old folks. So things are changing. An afternoon session for the old folks would have been. Yes, very good. Covering for everybody's taste. Oh, and this just in. Only have to mention pickleball, which just gets the attention of Rugby Collar, who's here this morning. Jill from Caldas has been named one over 50s pickleball player in Portugal. Oh, has been named number 1 over 50s pickleball player in Portugal. Well done.
Is she one of the one going? Rugby, can you? Is she going?
Wow. Okay.
Go to the competition here to.
More coming in from Rugby Collar, and we will be doing our next Go Motoring Portugal will be from an outside broadcast. Say more, if you will, please, Colin, about the premises and the business that we'll be broadcasting from on that morning. Right, Carl Hyde, we haven't talked to you about property or real estate. I know you've been busy, not in property and real estate, but mainly taking your family around various touristic destinations. How's it going? Is it all just shut down for August, basically?
Yeah, you do get a little bit of that, especially like today being a bank holiday and things like that. It just slows everything down. So it's more to do with, people want to see things, but, like lawyers' offices and government offices, they tend to be closed or more likely to be closed. So everything just slows down in the month of August. And, that's just how it is. It's the same every year, so it does slow things down, but it doesn't slow the amount of people who want to see listings. It's a very busy time of year for that. I've been very busy myself. Like I say, I've had family here, but I've made quite a few trips into Lisbon doing viewings on properties. It's been quite hectic. So, yeah, busy. Just been busy. I'm just recovering from it. So
imagine you're multitasking and showing people around a beautiful apartment in Lisbon, and you've had to just park up your family in the cafe below while you go and do the viewing upstairs, or even stick them in the living room for 5 minutes.
Well, I did do one sort of kind of dressed for the beach, which yeah, because there was no way I could do the viewing unless, and I said this to the couple that wanted to see it. I said I'm going to look very unprofessional. Right. I'm going to be in beachwear, but if you don't mind that, I'll do the viewing and then I'll go off and meet my family at the beach. And I said, hey, we don't mind.
You never know, though, do you? You actually might get requests to do it in your Speedos again from clients who just say, oh, we don't want to view unless you are dressed for the beach. It was so successful last time.
Yeah, I put a banana hammock. I put it away for the year now. So
very good. To the dry cleaners, I hope. Right. Okay. So, but things are looking nice and busy and ever popular in the capital by the sound of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I showed the property last time, the T2+1 in Lisbon. It seems like such a long time ago since I was on the show. Everything's been a blur, but we spoke about that. I've been there lots of times, speaking with lots of people, lots of interest in that. So I don't expect that to be on the market for very long. As you can see, I've sent you the link for another property that I listed recently, a T6 in Carcavelos.
Very nice location,
Yeah, beautiful home, 5 minutes from the beach, T6 on a 450-metre plot. Bedrooms over sort of 3 floors. It's got a basement level as well. Beautiful home, extremely well maintained over the years, in excellent condition. Huge garage, for storage, driveway, easily fit. You could probably fit 4 or 5 cars there, When
I think of Carcavelos, I think of a beach, like a beach village, but there's a lot of suburban residential type.
No, it's definitely more suburban and residential, Right, I mean, the beach is very popular, because everybody sort of comes down from the residential areas to that beach. But yeah, it's about 5 minutes away by car. You're about 15 minutes away from Cascais and about 20 minutes away, again, by car from central Lisbon. So the location's fantastic. It's near some of the best schools in the country, places like St. Julian's International School, which is very prestigious. So, if there's a family out there looking for a large family home that you can put your own stamp on, it's in excellent condition, very well maintained by the owners. No expense has been spared during their time, so I think it's a great opportunity.
I like this. This is a very unusual dining arrangement, isn't it? So there's a dining bar as well, and there's giraffes. It's like Kontiki style, isn't it? From a 70s sort of nightclub vibes, which I really like.
It does have kind of beach bar vibes.
Yeah,
I think they told me they picked it up somewhere in Africa, and I can't remember where it is now. It's huge. And they're wondering whether they're going to be able to sort of keep it where they've moved to. The family are emigrating to Dubai.
I see. Okay.
So it may be part of a deal, but yeah, this is one of the bedrooms in the basement level. It can be a bedroom anyway. It's T6, but they currently use it as kind of a man cave. And that's
what we're looking at now. That's not the main dining room.
No, that's the T6. Yeah, so it's one of the bedrooms. Effectively bedrooms, but they, like I said, they're using it as a man cave, so they have family parties and dinner guests and things like this. They sort of decant to the lounge area kind of thing. But it's one of the bedrooms. So, like I say, perfectly well maintained throughout. Very easy to put your own stamp on it. There's no work needed.
Move straight.
Everything you need.
That's amazing. What an amazing place, Carcavelos. What's this on the market for?
1.1 million.
1.1 million there, and beautiful photographs. Now, I got a bit of a shock yesterday. I saw a Facebook ad for. Thank you for this listing, by the way, and I'll put the link to it into the chat. So if anybody wants to follow up with you on that, yeah, I saw this advert for AI. Well, it was a house. You've got a beautiful set of photographs there, and the agency always create very good photographs for their properties and videos. And often a part of that is dressing the place, isn't it, really, for the photographs? Yeah. And there was an advert on Facebook saying, why dress the place when AI can do it for you? And I was going to ask you both what you thought of that. That could go horribly wrong, could it not? An AI visualization. You put in your photos of it, everyday use, and it takes all the shoes out from the front door, where all the kids' shoes all over the floor and everything, and puts an AI touch on it. Would you trust that, Veronica?
I think it can be used to help you if you're actively in charge of editing it. Like I've tried, a few scripts here and there where I typed it up and then let it kind of check grammar and spelling. But if you let it do its own, it doesn't even sound like you anymore. So I think there's something where it could help where I have a hard time seeing my own errors as far as typing and stuff. So I think you could let it maybe do a few things, but you'd have to be hyper focused. And sometimes you might spend more time re-editing what it did. I guess it just depends on the functionality. And I don't know. I think if it can help you and save time, like I believed in automation for marketing for years. I mean, I've set up a company years ago with that. So I saw how it saved so much time because it would show who clicked on what things on the what websites for the companies I had on if they asked for a quote, and then it would automatically send them what they asked for, and there were hyperlinks within that, and it would, every time they clicked on one of those, it would put little fires in the CRM systems that I built, and I could go in the morning and see, okay, this guy clicked on 10 things or 20 things. And
really? That level of surveillance?
Right. Yeah, and he would, Bill, because he's reaching out for it, and the computer is sending it to him, and you have done the work and placed all those hyperlinks in it. So someone's clicking on all those hyperlinks, and they're clicking on colors and cost, and let's say a mortgage. I can see an
application for that.
Yeah, because they were still
building. The mouse has been hovering. I had a business years ago, and you can see, when people are coming to your website, you can see where people have been hovering most with their mouse and things like that. My view with AI is, I say use it, because for the listing I've just shown you, I wrote some text that I thought was appropriate. I went on to ChatGPT and just said, take the above text and make it better. And it kind of helped me just refine it and picked out a few things that I thought, actually, that's okay. The problem is, like Veronica said, if you do it too much, you can just tell it's AI. There's too many superlatives, and it's just too crisp and clean. There's no, you can tell. I see it all the time in listings, and I think you've just gone into ChatGPT there and said, describe a 6-bedroom house by the beach, because it doesn't, even if you can go very granular with it actually and say, describe a 2-bedroom apartment in Herdade district of Lisbon, and it can be, if you've got no idea of what you're listing, then it can give you a good starting point. But you've got to be careful, because it can very quickly just become, it's not human, and you can tell, or I can tell anyway. So
I'm sure that'll be the case.
Fake and wrong. Fake and wrong.
Yeah,
it can be fake and wrong. I've seen it put in wrong content because it's just pulling from advertisements. It's pulling from its sources on the internet. So
be careful then with that, folks. I'm just thinking more visually and dressing places. It will be an end to this sort of photograph in Portugal, though. I'm hoping we've got a campaign to make real estate photographs great again. And I think AI might be able to help with that. Please remove the body from the balcony. Right, let's give him a nice round of applause. I'm sure Bobby's got a view on this. He's joined us now. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Good morning to you, Bobby O'Reilly.
Bon dia.
Where we can
morning
see
all.
Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Morning all. Morning. I don't see that photograph. Shows that there's a good sunning spot,
You've always got a positive reframe. There we go. Yes, ideal for sunbathing.
A nice view as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely view of the.
That's not a dead body. He's sunbathing.
No, he's sunbathing. Honestly, what you
makes
like?
You look.
It does make you look right. So you're not at the show home yet. You sent a message ahead of yourself. The showroom is open today if anyone wants to come see what all the fuss is about. I think it's safe to say we know you are synonymous with Herdade Do Meio. And the last time most of us were together on this screen was in this YMCA village people gathering on site there when everyone turned up as the construction worker. Great fun. How are you doing? What's going on there, Bobby?
Now all the windows and doors are in, and the carpet's down, and the toilets are flushing and everything. So,
seriously? Since okay. Whoa!
Wow!
in the showroom, yeah.
Have you got the for this guy for the photo shoot though? Yeah. Is he coming in?
No, that's me. Well,
It's you. Okay.
that's normally where I work.
Right. Excellent. So it's all going well, I take it. I wanted to ask you a
fun.
few questions about some of the aspects of it we don't talk about too much, but interest, it sounds like, is going well south of the river there.
Yeah, no, the interest has been great. To be honest with you, we had stopped marketing for a long time, and then we started kicking it off in August of all times. And
it did. It's going against the trend here.
Yeah, it's gone nuts. Even today, like we've, I think, 6 appointments today, just alone, with people who are making appointments from the social media.
Cool.
And that's not even the main part of the campaign. The main part of the campaign is really kicking off now in September. And we're doing an event there on the, I'm not wrong, I think it's Wednesday, the 18th of September, where we have a lot of media, a lot of, Portuguese media, as well as a couple of dignitaries and what have you as well, just to, because we'll be well on even by that stage, and we sort of now want to relaunch it back into the mindset of the buying public, if you like, because now you can see it's there. Now you can see, as you saw yourselves when you walked the site, the project is well on its way. It's nearly like fully completed with regards to the construction side, which is in the bricks and the mortar and all that kind of thing. And now we're starting to do the first fix with the windows and the doors and things like this. So now it's a great time for people to come to the actual showroom, see the actual market, the models, how they work, and also all the new innovative stuff. So now we have all the finishes ready in the showroom, where you can come and see the windows, you can come and see the floors, the choices of floors you can pick, the choices of cabinets you can pick, the choices of worktops, basically everything. So now it's down to now designing your interior design at this stage of your home, as well as the smart home side of it as well. So it's an exciting time. Sorry, everything's ringing here.
We won't keep you. I mean, if you can be with us for about 10 or 15 minutes, and
sure, no problem.
Carl Hyde, Veronica, if you want to stay with us, that would be great. I understand, Veronica, you've been here for 2 hours already. If you want to go off and have a sunbathe or get some sleep after staying up till 5 this morning, but let's have just 15 seconds to give you a sense of what's going on at Herdade Do Meio, and we'll come back and talk about that smart home concept with you in just a moment.
Okay.
I love that vista with the Cristo Rey in the background there. It's amazing. What a great location. And that's a month or 6 weeks ago. So lots changed since then. And and by the sound of it, the smart home aspects are coming in. Now, I want to know more about that. I want to know more about the eco aspects and your emphasis that you've mentioned before, but it'd be nice to find out a bit more about it today, the community part of it. Some people might be thinking brand new development, it's going to be gated, it's going to be exclusive. I don't think that's the route you're taking. We'll come back to that. Let's start with smart. What's going on? What's being installed in the houses that make them smart homes?
Smart as people normally think is domotics. In other words, that it's fancy lights and you can make your curtains open and close, and you can say, Alexa, do this, and Alexa, do that, which you can do. But what makes this house smart is its intelligence with regards to its energy efficiency and how it works within the house to basically all the machines talk to themselves, if you like. So if we start with the solar panels, so you start off with 8 solar panels. I think they're all 550 kilowatt solar panels, and that goes through a converter into 25 kilowatts of storage of battery power. That will allow you basically to, when you're not using the solar, to store the power within the batteries. But also, let's say you have 2 electric cars and you want to charge both of them. The computer itself works out when's the best time to charge it, and even if it needs to purchase units from the grid, it'll purchase units from the grid at the cheapest point, and then basically redistribute them when absolutely necessary. So everything is applicable on your phone, so you can see everything live as it works. So you can see what your consumption rate is, you can see what your energy efficiency is, you can see, it'll give you prompts on how to make the house work smarter for you. On top of that, you can set everything within the house from a climate control point of view as you want it, personalized to yourself. So you have each of the air conditioning, they're now like mini heat pumps, if you like, what we would have known as a heat pump before, but they're like mini heat pumps. So they work with HEPA filters and with clean air, and sort of to work on that, control the humidity within the houses and so on and so forth. So the whole idea of the smart home is that it works more for the end user.
Not sure what happened.
Yep.
You're back
hear
now.
me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're there.
So basically, I'm saying this: the smart home part of it is meant to be, it's intelligent in the sense that it works more efficiently to save you money on how your house performs, but also then how your life is around that as well, including your car, charging your car, etc. as well. So it's cleaner. It's for the environment. It's an A++ house. So basically, energy rating is very, very high already, and that's really it. Now you have all the fancy stuff that you can add on. So for example, if you want curtains opening like this or doing this, you can have all that kind of stuff. You can have your lights dim. You can have all that sort of smart stuff that a lot of people like. I don't particularly like any of that kind of stuff in my house, to be honest with you. I like to push buttons, but there are people who love it and they want to show people on their phone, watch me turning on and off the lights here or whatever it is.
Yes.
For me, it doesn't matter, but a lot of people like it. But you can have it if you want it, and you don't have to have it if you don't want it. So it's all bespoke. So everything is designed to what you want. And then later, if you sell your house later on, and the person doesn't like what you've done to the house, they can change absolutely everything without having to rip up walls, etc.
Okay, very good. So there is the frivolous stuff, the light show and the curtains and security. I mean, that's not frivolous. There's a security aspect to that. But I'm particularly interested in, and I don't know if Carl and Veronica, you're getting more inquiries about this, but there sounds like there's energy security. You're generating electricity from the solar panels and you're storing it on site. Is that energy independence? Is that ahead of another curve we might be talking about this morning, where people are concerned about that and they want to be a little bit off grid? Now, traditionally, off grid means a field in central Portugal. This is very, very fancy living, isn't it? South of the river, and it's off grid as well, in a sense.
Well, legally under Portuguese law, you have to have a second source of energy. So right. Either you're connected to the grid, or you have a backup generating supply. So you have to have two sources of energy if you come off the grid. Now, the benefit of being on the grid, that let's say you have a house that you're renting out or that you're not renting out and it's generating electricity, it actually sells it back to the grid. So it's making you money. Now, it's not going to make you rich, but it's not costing you money. But you're connected to the grid, it's costing like 30 euros a month as a sort of a sign-on fee or something like that. So,
charge, yes.
Exactly. So it'll pay for that kind of thing as well. So it's really to train people how to be efficient as well. I have a friend who told me that he had a solar off-grid house, but he said it kept getting huge, big electric bills. What happened was that he thought he had free electricity. Just because he had solar panels, he thought he had free electricity. It's not free electricity. It's generating electricity, but it's how you use it. So in other words, the guy had his air conditioning on and his windows open, and because he thought it's free, you know.
Oh, and that was just pulling off the grid when it got to those
points.
It's
all free, you know. So once the sun was in the sky, you know, but it's not free. What it is that it's an investment. When you're buying this house, our home started around 610,000 euros is the starting price. And in Portugal, that's quite a high price for a lot of houses, but it's 250 square meters of a house with a swimming pool, 5-minute walks to the train station, and you're 15 minutes into Lisbon. But on top of that, you have all the social side of it as well. So the whole house is designed around your living experience. And because I had a couple of guys over the other day, my new marketing guys, and they were doing some marketing and it was fine and everything, but they weren't getting the point. So I said, you guys need to come out here and you need to see what we're selling. Yeah. And they were like, so can we go see the houses? I said, no, let's go see the area. Let's go see the whole location. Let's go see what's around you. What's here for people to enjoy? What's here for people to... Why is it called Herdade Do Meio? So Herdade Do Meio means like the herdade in the center. What's it in the center of? So that was the first thing. I needed to show them what was in the center of, which I did. And then after that, we showed them how the house functions and how you can make the house function. And they were blown away. They hadn't got the concept up to that. And I think it's actually quite difficult when you see an advertisement saying it's another house or it's another development or if it's another this. It's not. It's something I believe. And Carl's been there. And you've been there as well. So the Carls have been there.
Carl, the dirty Carls.
I want to go someday. I have so many people that
need to get your coat. You can collect. I think you can collect your jacket at the same time, Veronica.
Oh, yeah. I still have your jacket. I'm up there all the time because one of the agents I use here, she's now #1 in Portugal. I feed her so many leads, and she's great on her own too. But I feed her a lot of leads, and
bring her with you.
We're up there for all her awards all the time in Lisbon. and in Estrom, we just sold a place that was similar. That was a smart home that was a few $1 million up in Pastos de Arcos. So, you know, I'm going to have to come see it. Okay, Bobby, I'll connect afterwards. I'll show you now, but the fact he says there's batteries is huge. There's a lot of places that have solar and they have the solar for the water. The batteries makes it night and day, because now you're storing your own power yourself. It doesn't mean it's unlimited power. And like he's saying, you can look at it and see it and go, oh, and watch it go down. So you can see, and you can see there's a maximum it stores. It can only store a certain amount.
It becomes addictive. I know a guy who's got it, and he's got it all on his phone, and he's watching constantly and sending screenshots about how much energy is produced today and what he's used, and it's like his favorite little app. So, but yeah, having the batteries there is a huge thing, because most people, you know, they go to Leroy Merlin or EDP maybe and just get 2 solar panels. It's something, but you really need the batteries, and 25 kilowatts is a lot of battery.
Will that cope with an outage, Bobby? So if the main grid goes down, which it does sometimes, doesn't it? You know, there's a flood or something like that. Will the house be able to continue with its own power?
Yeah,
that's a bonus.
The whole smart thing about this as well, you can add on as many batteries as you want. It comes like a sort of a cabinet. Yes. And you basically buy a battery. Costs around €2,500 for a battery for the house, if you like, and that's 8.7 kilowatts of on one storage, and you can slap it in. There's no technical way. It basically slides into a drawer, and now you have 4 batteries. If you want 5 batteries, if you want 6 batteries, so you can store as much electricity. The big thing about solar energy right now, and you see people, we were looking at doing solar parks and all this kind of stuff. And what we figured out, the money wasn't in energy, generation. It was in energy storage. If you look at Kuwait right now, Kuwait has free electricity for everybody, but they don't have enough of it. Why? Because they don't store it. They have solar, and they have whatever it is, and they have obviously free petrol and all this kind of stuff, so they're generating their own electricity. But because people are wasting it, I was talking to a guy the other day, he's from Kuwait, and he was telling me here that he's here for a month, and he left the air conditioning on in the house because it's free. But yeah, he lives on the 14th floor, and then electricity goes out. He has to use the stairs, so it's not smart. So the idea is that storage is the smart part of this. So if you look at you can have 10 solar panels if you want. You can add on more solar, and as technology even gets better, the solar panels can be exchanged later on. For example, now they've a 25-year warranty on them, but you could change them in say 5 years' time if it's generating double the energy and so on and so forth. So solar itself is getting very, very technically better as we go on. So having something that's able to store power is actually where the smartness in this is. And here you can have 6, 10, 12 batteries if you wanted to. Now 25 kilowatts is enough to keep you going, absolutely. But if, for example, you had 2 Teslas, whatever it might be, and you wanted to have it that you can have them charged at any time and so on and so forth, you can add in more batteries. You can buy energy from the grid during the night when it's 2.5 cents a unit or whatever the price is. I don't know, that it's not buying it during the day when you're trying to charge or whatever. So you store it into your battery and then you charge your car. So
that is
the battery part of it is a big part of this as well.
Yeah, no, totally understand that. And that's a new way of thinking about it, isn't it? Because power is on demand, generally speaking. We don't, I guess the old-fashioned gas bottle is one way of storing power, but that's very primitive. This is a very futuristic way of storing power and making yourself independent, which I think people are valuing more and more. Final point then this morning, before we go off into our days, and this is a very important one. And I think you're something of a visionary around, and I don't know what it was that made you think in this way, Bobby. I think we'll find out in the next few minutes. But Pam says this is so important. I love my apartment, but the best thing is that I'm a few minutes walk to a city with lots going on and a great community. Now, this is important with Herdade Do Meio. Like you said, it's in the middle. And when people have traditionally thought about exclusivity and luxury and a great place to live, often they build a wall around it and it becomes gated. And that has become synonymous with luxury living, isn't it? That it's cut off from the rest of the world for security reasons, for exclusivity reasons. I think you're going the other way, aren't you? You want to connect with the local community. You want to make it part of what's going on in the neighborhood. What made you think that in the first place?
Well, number one, we weren't allowed to do
Yes.
But we didn't want to do it either, to be honest. Actually, there was one came up here in Aroera, very close to where I am, that this guy has planning for a closed condominium that was granted back in 2008 or whatever it was. But it's no interest to us because of how this one has sort of developed out. And our next 2 projects are very similar to what we're doing at the moment. So really, we saw the community that was around us, and we knew that it's a very nice community. It's all nice villas and it's families and so on and so forth. And so we said, like, as you know, we built a social side to the development as well with the paddle courts and we didn't do pickleball. We didn't do.
That's where the old people are going. Sorry, the elderly.
Maybe they'll play pickleball as well. I don't know. But we have 6 paddle courts. We have a multi-court. We have a gym. We have a restaurant. We have all these lovely things. And actually, we're also trying to build something else that might be more efficient, more community-driven later on as well. Cool. Also with parks and green areas and playgrounds and all this kind of stuff to add to the community. But it wasn't just for our development; it was for the whole community. And to bring it in, it was to basically marry the 2 sides together. It was to marry this lovely new development to the landscape to the one that already exists. Yeah. And we weren't trying to go, we're better than that, or that's this is old and this is new, whatever. It's not. It's all the same area, and we've brought up the value. And I would say the standard of living of the people who already live there by doing these extra things that we've done. So sometimes you get these smart asses on social media that will have nothing but a negative comment to say when they see this stuff. And I just want to go, and I have to sort of restrain myself and go, thank you for your comment, and move on,
Very important to us.
Good man. Good man.
Like, get a life. And it's the fact that we do advertise in Portuguese, of course, but sometimes I comment in English about something. Look at the lovely view from Lisbon. Oh my God, are we in the Algarve? Why can't you speak in Portuguese, etc.? This kind of stuff, And the thing is that what we're trying to do is to bring everybody together, as in this development, the people that are there. Some people go, how much do I have to pay for that? Is there a condominium fee? There's no condominium fee. The player pays. If you want to use it, you pay for it. You know what I mean? Obviously not the playground and things like this, but if you want to join the paddle courts, like anywhere else, you pay whatever fee you pay. If you go to eat in the restaurant, guess what? You get a bill at the end of it. You know what I mean? So it's for everybody, and it's inclusive, and it's to bring up the area. And this development being our sort of first big one in this style is the showcase of what we're doing for our next couple of developments here in Aroera. We're doing 2 new ones in Aroera shortly. And we're going to even try and improve on them as best we can. One thing, Carl, before you cut me off, is that we hope to have 2 show houses ready by the end of the year. So actually finished out completely, so people could come and see them. Now, those show houses are not from a sales point of view. It'll be great for people who want to see it, who bought them, whatever. They're actually for us to figure out what's the best way to, you know what I mean? What the flooring, so we can take all the sort of issues out of everything else before we sort of start finishing out the rest of the house.
Oh, it's a test home, prototype.
Test home, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Very good.
So, but guys, we're open now, and come September, we're open 7 days a week. Anybody who wants to come down or make an appointment, myself and Claudio are there. Claudio is our new sales manager. He's an absolutely star, to be honest with you. He knows how to use a computer, which is great.
You have to.
Main qualification. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, thank God somebody else is able to come in and do some sort of technical stuff. I'm useless. But so anyone who wants to come down, see what we're all about. You can't but be impressed by what we're doing when you come down here. I'm not blowing our own trumpet, but, well, actually I am. But you can't but be impressed by it. The development is there. You can see it. Now you can see the finishes. You can see the floor plans. You can actually now go up and walk around the ground floor, the top floor. You can see the vistas. You can see the views. You saw the views. The views are fantastic. You can see Cristo Rei, the April 25 bridge. You can see Amarez Towers. And again, you're 15 minutes from there. You're 10 minutes from the beach, and you've got everything else around you. I don't know what else to say.
Well, no, I thank you for sharing with us the social value. That's what I really like about what you've just said. You know, you're realizing the social value. which is very Portuguese, isn't it? It's not you know, this sort of foreign ethic of coming in and building a wall around yourself. That's not a good look in my view. It's understandable. I understand why people do that. It's been the trend, but this is different, and this is a great way for people who want to come and live in Portugal and connect with the local community. That's what people say they want to do. This would be an ideal way of doing it. Go on, Carl Hyde.
Well, I'm just going to say I have a Portuguese friend who lives on the housing estate opposite, and they're very excited about it, because before this it's just a scrap of land, like basically wasteland, and now it's going to have this beautiful, you know, 70 houses on it and everything else that goes with it. So yeah, the locals I think mostly would be excited about it. Scrap of land or nice homes with kids play areas and things like that is a no-brainer.
Great.
Community.
And a model, community and a model for further development as well. I noticed what you said there, Bobby, as well. One other thing, Ilyas is here from Qatar. Can you still help people with D2s? Just a very quick one with for Ilyas.
Straight up with the D2 thing. The issue out of the UAE is that the Portuguese embassy has just basically closed the door.
Oh.
So what I've done is I've sort of stopped doing anything in the Middle East at the moment when it comes to D2, D7. Until such time that the embassy gets its act together. Now, IMA, I've actually sent out a thing there about 2 weeks ago, saying that, look, sorry guys, we've messed up. We're now trying to sort out all these issues, and we're sorting everything out, and hopefully that'll. But I'm not happy to bring anyone into a program that's going to be sitting there like the Golden Visa for a year waiting for an appointment in the Portuguese embassy, and they should be ashamed of themselves, to be honest with you. The embassies around the world right now, the Portuguese embassies, and the way that the international and foreign affairs, whatever they're called, diplomats in these places, is an absolutely disgrace the way that they've treated foreign people that are looking to move to Portugal or that have any interest in making a business here and whatever it is. And to be honest with you, like it's an absolute disgrace, and they should sort it out. And I'm not happy enough to go back into that space till it's sorted out, and that's where I'm at.
Very good. Okay, there you go, Ilyas. It might be worth having a conversation with Bobby for when that situation becomes more advantageous and efficient.
By the way, sorry, that's the Middle East, and I can't speak for anywhere else. I'm sure, like in the US, it's perfect, and I'm sure in lots of other areas, it's good. But the Middle East,
every embassy's different in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. I mainly dealt
DC's on it, and California's behind, and every single one.
I'm sure
it's human. It's a human element, and that's why they're going to be replaced by AI, unfortunately, because human elements not doing their best.
Right, we need to go. Last words. You can continue with your response to IMA and VFS and the Portuguese government if you want, Bobby. But ladies first, Veronica, your final words this morning.
I think I just want to say thank you to Bobby, because I think he really hit on all the points of why we're here, that sense of community, and that kind of all came in today too, with also that senior center, and it's why I'm here in a town square, and why so many, I think, the clients who come to me through my channel are coming to me because of the sense of community, because we need each other, we need people, and we need these common places, these communal places. So thank you for bringing that up. And the social value, I like the way you said social value, and it's why we move here, you know, the history, the culture, the people, but to have a place to get together and gather and to say, hey, I'm feeling good. You know, I'm alone. I'm a widow, so I'm alone. And sometimes I'm like, you know what, I've been working and I want to just go take a break, and I can text my little group and go, who wants to have a quick coffee, or if it's in the evening, a glass of wine, and go sit on the on the river. Yeah. And people just be like, we're there, we're here. Oh yeah, those are the girlfriends last night. And it's so nice to know that you have a sense of people. And as we retire, and as we age, and as we retire, we're going to lose a spouse, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. Stuff happens. And so we need people. And there was even just a study done that said you need, you know, proof that you need a human person. You need human touch. You need somebody. So I love that they at least hug here, right? You get your hugs and kisses every day from the Portuguese people.
Yes,
love them. But thank you for bringing that up. And thank you, Carl, again. It's so good to see you.
think she's talking to me, Carl Hyde.
Both Carls. I love both Carls. So thank you
The
all.
Carl Show is an idea we've written down from earlier on. Thanks, Veronica. You, Carl Hyde, next.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I had a great day at the Herdade Do Meio project 3 weeks ago. You really should go and check it out. It's an amazing project. And now the office is open. Get over there. Check it out for yourselves.
Did you organise this, Bobby, that Veronica would start with a massive compliment, then Carl Hyde...
No, I'm just so fast.
Right, Bobby...
We're fans.
No, but actually... Guys, you hit on something earlier on that actually I think is very important as well, we're all aging. And I wanted to make a nice, very fancy sort of old folks home for myself to retire in at some stage. So, because I'm not quite happy with the quality of old folks care at the moment. And I think it's a massive opening for you as well. So congratulations with that. Thanks everyone for your nice comments. And you, Carl, as well, for all your help over the last couple of years there as well. So please come down and have a look at what we're doing here, and we would like to see you all.
Excellent. I do want to sneak up there. I'm up there all the time.
You'll see Veronica.
Come down, pick up your coat.
Pick up your jacket at the same time. Veronica, Carl, Bobby, have a great day. Take care. And all the Gumpers, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for some Feel Good Friday fun. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bom dia, Portugal! In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.